Welcome to another edition of the CS Podcast, where you can hear interviews with special guests such as
Dale Buchanan, Tom Waddle, Pierre Desir, Brent Berry, Ed Werder,
and many others.
Too big, too strong, too fast, too good.
So be sure to subscribe and tune in to the CS Podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/ChristianRE722.
Did you not get the memo?
That's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722 for great interviews. Be sure to check out the CS Podcast.
You are ridiculous.
Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Shanafel, and I'm now joined by 2015 NFL Draft prospect, defensive end out of Division II's Tusculum College, Caushaud Lyons. I appreciate you taking some time to chat today. Caushaud, how's everything going?
My pleasure. It's going great. I'm just happy that you called me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. The pleasure's all mine. So let's go ahead and get right to it. Now, obviously, Tusculum College isn't the most well-known school out there. So I just want to start this interview off by asking you a pretty simple question. That is, coming out of high school and being from Georgia, how did you decide to make the move to Tennessee and attend Tusculum College?
Well, coming out of high school, I really didn't have the best grades. And, Tusculum just seemed like it was a fit for me, and I went on a couple of unofficial visits to some bigger schools, but Tusculum just seemed like it was where I needed to be. So that's where I went.
And as a freshman in 2011, you were able to see some playing time as a reserve in 8 games. And then as a sophomore in 2012, you became a starter on that defensive line, and you finished the season with 36 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and a sack. What was it like to see limited playing time as a freshman to becoming a full-time starter and making an impact on that D-line as a sophomore?
Oh, it was definitely a difference. I really had to step up and become a leader quick, and it just taught me a lot in a short period of time.
And also, as a junior, you went on to start all 11 games for the Pioneers. You recorded 44 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. What were your expectations for this past season, knowing that it'll be your final go-around at the college level? I mean, I got to think you wanted to go out with a bang.
Oh, definitely. I felt like I could have had a way better season, but I feel like I ended up decent with the numbers I got, and I really just, the bigger picture, I really just wanted to make it to the playoffs and compete for a championship. And we didn't get to do that, but I guess I ended with a decent season.
It's funny that you're calling it a decent season because, man, you really had a monster season this past season, on the outside looking in. You led the Tusculum Pioneers with 89 tackles, 19 tackles for loss, and 9 sacks. Now, I'm not surprised that you're only calling it a decent season, kind of downplaying it because every player feels like they could do better. But how were you able to have the type of impact that you had on the defense this past season? Were you doing something during the offseason that you haven't done in years past? Did you make any changes to your game at all, or was it just having another year of experience under the belt? What was it that allowed you to have this standout senior season?
Well, I believe the main reason why I had a standout season is because I stayed at Tusculum during the summer before my senior season, and I had never done that before, and that just really changed a lot. I just got faster, stronger, and bigger, and just got in better shape than I ever been. So I think that was a major contributing factor.
All right, once again, Chris Shanafel talking with 2015 NFL Draft prospect Caushaud Lyons, defensive lineman out of Tusculum College. And Caushaud, when I mentioned your name along the lines of 2015 NFL Draft prospect, what goes through your mind? I got to think that it's always been a dream to play in the NFL, but when did you realize that, playing in the National Football League may not only be a dream, but it could become a reality?
Well, starting off in college, I felt like I never wanted to work a 9 to 5. I knew I loved football to the point where that's all I wanted to do. So I always knew that I would get a chance to play. I just had to fulfill my destiny. That's how I felt about it.
Now, I'm a big fan of, small school college football. Now, I think that people are finally realizing that there is a lot of talent, in the FCS level, the Division II level, the Division III level, and you're obviously an example of that. Over the last 4 years, who would you say is the best or most impressive player you've had to play against? Is there anybody specific that sticks out?
Well, I would have to say this year the best tackle I played against was Denzel Good. He played for Mars Hill, and he was probably the best tackle I've seen in all my 4 years. And he was just a solid, well-rounded lot of records, and he was probably the best running back I've seen. But those two players were great.
All right, now, Caushaud, I know that, throughout your time at Tusculum, you've played pretty much everywhere on that defensive line, so your versatility certainly stands out. What do you feel is your biggest strength as a defensive lineman?
Well, I think I use my hands very well, and I have very good feet for my size, and I move very well and very fluently, so I feel like that really helps me when it comes down to it.
Is there a defensive lineman currently playing in the NFL that you might compare your game to?
Well, any defensive lineman that is active and is always getting after the quarterback and is competitive, I would compare myself to.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Once again, 2015 NFL Draft Prospect, defensive lineman out of Tusculum College, Caushaud Lyons here on the CS Podcast. And Caushaud, just a few more questions, and then I'll let you go. I really do appreciate your time. I know a few months ago you were able to participate in the Medal of Honor Bowl. Can you just tell us what that was like to participate in one of the top college all-star games with some of the best players in the nation?
Well, it was definitely a good experience. I had never been in that environment before, and I felt like I showed what I could do and I could compete. So I think that was the biggest thing, that I could show that I could compete with the biggest schools. But I mean, I didn't really see anything special when it came out to competing. That's just something. I play football, and they play football too. And everybody's human, so that was about it. I mean, it was just a good experience.
Now, let's say there's an NFL general manager listening to this very interview. If I were to give you a moment to sell yourself, why should he want you a part of his team?
Well, because I'm a great young man. I think I stay out of trouble. I really just want to win a Super Bowl and just take care of my family. And I do everything I can do to win, and I hate to lose. I'm very competitive, and that's what it's all about. Just being competitive and winning.
Has it sunk in yet that you've played in your final college football game at Tusculum College, and that the next time you play will be in the pros?
I think it has. I mean, my last game, I was like, well, I kind of thought of it like it's not over yet. So it didn't really bother me. I'm just ready to strap it back up and get in somebody's camp.
Now, if I were to tell you back when you were a freshman or even entering that freshman year of yours at Tusculum College, that once your time was all said and done there, that once your senior year is done, you finish with a monster senior season and you participate in one of the nation's top college all-star games, and you'll be getting ready for the NFL. What would the freshman Caushaud Lyons say to me if I told him that back then?
He would definitely believe it, but he would still be a little shocked because back then he felt like he had all the time in the world and he just didn't know how fast it's gonna fly by.
Hey, Caushaud, that sounds great, man. I love that answer. Now, I'm not sure if you're allowed to mention who you've worked out with yet or not, but have you worked out with any NFL teams yet? And if so, can you just tell us, how those workouts went?
I didn't really work out with too many teams, the Eagles, the Giants, but I went on a couple of visits, to the Vikings. I went to San Diego. I went to New York Giants. I mean, they were good workouts. I felt like they definitely realized what type of athlete I am and how I can help them out. Because I can play anywhere on the D line. Mm-hmm. And I thought they realized that when I worked out and when they visited. So I mean.
And you just mentioned it. I mentioned it a little earlier. Your versatility is something that really sticks out. I believe you spent time in both a 3-4 and 4-3 defense. Is there one that you prefer to play in over another?
I don't think so. I just want to line up on somebody and just beat them, dominate them. That's about it. I mean, I don't really have a preference of what scheme it is. So.
All right, Caushaud, final question for you, and it's pretty simple. How would you describe your overall college football experience at Tusculum College?
I love Tusculum. I mean, it was a great experience. I'm just glad I was a pioneer. And to anybody who wants to be a pioneer, go ahead. You're gonna love Tusculum. I mean, it's a small community. Football comes, school comes first, then football. But that's what it's all about. Just competing and getting that degree. I'm not too far from getting mine, but I'm just ready to go ahead and finish and make it to the next level.
Hey, that sounds great. Well, Caushaud, that's all I have for you. I really do appreciate your time. It was certainly a pleasure speaking with you. Congratulations on a great college football career. Definitely wishing you nothing but the best throughout this process. We're 1 week away from the 2015 NFL Draft. It's actually going to be held here in Chicago. Do you have anything else for us before I let you go?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, once again, Caushaud, thank you very much, and take care. All right, man. Best of luck.
All right, thank you.